Hello and welcome back to Kerno EXP. Now, in this video we fly around Wheal. Now, Wheal is on the north coast of Cornwall, near Portreath and Porthtowan. It was a tin and copper mine, not very rich. It lasted for a few decades and then ceased in, I believe it was the 1940s or 50s. They used to do underground mine tours here at one time. Now, just down the coast a bit, there's an airfield which is derelict today. It is still owned by the MOD. It's known as RAF Portreath or RAF Nanskuk. You can just see the remains of the airfield there up on the top left corner of the picture. The little white dome you see is a radar station, and that is active today. The actual airfield is derelict. It's not being used, but the actual airfield is controlled airspace, so I can go right up basically to the fence with the drone, and that's it. I cannot go past that because it's a controlled zone. Now, here we're looking at Old Man's Workings, as it's called. It's Cornish mine workings. They were digging down to find the vein, and you can see there's a great crack right there. There is an adit system that goes in there, but it's fairly precarious, to be fair, folks. Now, this area here that we're approaching now is known as Sally's Bottom, and it was a very rich mining area. There's been quite a few shipwrecks along this coast over the years. There was one in this cove, I believe. So we're just flying down. This was filmed a couple of days ago when the weather was very nice. It hasn't been very nice of late. It's been heavy wind, hail, heavy rain. Not very nice, folks. So there we are, panning around to the area known as Sally's Bottom. You can see the airfield there. As I said, it's derelict now. There was a chemical weapons place there. I think it was there active in the 70s, and right before that they knocked all the buildings down and supposedly put a lot of the debris down old mine shafts and that, but yeah, a lot of mystery there. So this is looking back at the Old Man's Workings. You can see the groove in the side of the cliff there, and the area to the right is Wheal. The council stabilised some of the old buildings there recently, and they've put a couple of plaques up which tells you a bit of the history about the site. Now, one of my friends who owns a traction engine called Cornish Made, that engine was used to move the boilers from this site. There's a lot of mine workings just below us now. You can't see it very clearly, but it is there. Now we're heading towards, or looking towards, Porthtowan. There's been a lot of coastal erosion, cliff erosion here in the last 10 years. It's amazing how much is actually fallen down. Now, the beach that we're approaching, there was an adit, or there is an adit there on the beach level, and it looks like it's no longer accessible because of the erosion there, like, you know. There's a couple of mines there, Wheal, I think the name of it, and there's another name. I'll think on the name a minute. I just can't seem to get it just like that, folks. But you can actually gain access to that beach at low tide. It is pretty precarious now, but it was very easy. Yes, Lushington Mine, which is around here. Wheal, Lushington. There's been lots of people over the years dumping rubbish down the cliffs, which is not really acceptable, folks. A group that are well known for retrieving such items is the Carbis Bay crew, so big up to the Carbis Bay crew. So when the tide is out, you can actually gain access to the other beach there, which is part of Porthtowan. So we're now going over this rock. I have actually climbed over the top of that before, a few years ago now. Down the bit on the right there, that is, folks, not over the rock. There's been a lot of coastal erosion around here. It's just crazy the amount of rock that's come down, especially around here. You can see that on the right, that's all came down in the last 10 years. And there's another bit which is just in the almost in the middle of the screen. There's a new bit that came down there recently. There's a path that goes from the top there. You can just make it out on the cliff that we're flying towards. There is actually a path that goes down, and it looks like it probably is blocked off now. I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're just down the coast from our previous video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. You can see the path there now, look, going down. I think you probably could get part way down, but it's doesn't look that easy anymore. So this is Porthtowan Beach here, home of Surfers Against Sewage. And now we're panning around. So you can see the erosion there on the cliffs. Look, it's just crazy. The amount of stuff that's fallen down is just unbelievable. It's really crazy stuff. So you can see Nanskook there, or RAF Portreif, flying down towards the rock. We flew here before with the older drone, but this one, obviously, as we all know, is done in 4K with the DJI Mini 2. So this beach here, as I said, it is accessible, but it's not really for the faint-hearted. You've got to do a bit of climbing down the cliffs there on the left of the screen now. When the tide's out, it's fairly easy, but when it's in, it's not really very easy at all. So heading towards Wheal again. Couldn't believe the weather this day. Amazing. So you can see some fenced off mine workings right there. I've never really had a look at that before, but don't think I will. It looks quite precarious. So this is Wheal. We're now approaching the chimney and the remains of where the winder was, compressor and all that jazz. And then we're looking again at, on the left of the screen, just on that cliff there, they're called Old Man Workings. Those workings probably predate all the chimneys and so on and so forth at Wheal. So these are extremely old workings. They were basically chasing the load, folks. You can see the scar right in the middle there, going all the way down. That is probably very, very old indeed. Just up the top there was an anti-aircraft there station from World War II, which was basically to try and keep the Germans away during the war. There is a submarine out there somewhere, a U-boat. Not sure how far it is out, but it is out there for sure. There we go. You can see the scar there very clearly. Never really been on that bit of land there before, that little headland. So then we're turning it back around to the wheel tie area. You can see the scar in the ground there from ancient mining, really old form of mining. A lot of bikers have been down here over the last few years, bombing up and down. Does leave a little bit of a scar on the land. So one of my friends said to me, one of my older friends said to me during what was it, the Second World War, the beginning of it, there was a German battleship that was out, and it was firing shells right across to the farm which is near here, and I'm sure he said it was Second World War. It could have been the first. Right, there we are. This is the sunset now, folks, so we'll leave you enjoy that. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It is for free, and we'll see you on the next video very soon indeed. And until then, cheers and gone, folks.